Hello and welcome back to Mate's Tottenham blog and to a Tottenham Hotspur Transfer Talk live episode. Today I'm joined by Charlie, David and Marcelo to discuss the news we heard today that Harvey White could be on his way to Valencia. We're also going to be talking about Tottenham's new target, Nicolas Gonzalez, and a lot of other stuff, including Eder Militao, another player we've been linked with, Julian Araujo, the LA Galaxy, playing back to me here in my ear, sorry, the LA Galaxy right back, and we're going to be talking a lot more as well. But first of all, Charlie, how are you?
Yeah, good. Matt, thanks for having me on, as always, again. Yeah, as you said there, some interesting topics and different sort of transfer targets to talk about today. But yeah, as I said, as always, Matt, thanks for having me on your channel.
Yeah, it's good to have you, Charlie. Thanks for joining us. David, how are you getting on today?
Yeah, Matty, I'm pumped. You know I love talking transfers. You had to when there's a transfer show, you have to have me on. So thanks very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for joining us. And Marcelo, again, you're back. How are you getting on?
Oh man, I'm just happy, just vibing, seeing all these transfer rumors. Man, I can't wait. Can't wait for this window. I hope we sign some players. Come on.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed we do. For anyone who is watching on the live stream replay, I'll have timestamps down in the description below to let you know what players we spoke about and when. Welcome a few people here to the live stream. We have Alfie, Rune, Caleb, Kwame, Suyog as well, Azedio, Inot Nurse, Jack Bennett, Scotty Deluxe as well, saying the whole gang are here. Thank you to everyone who is joining us. And look, we might as well just get straight down to business. And the biggest news that we've gotten today is with regards to Harvey White and a potential departure for him. I'm quickly going to read out three headlines that we've got today, kind of suggesting that we're at different stages of the deal. Marcelo, I think, is enjoying this already. Guillem Balaguer, the Spanish football expert, said via the Spurs Express, he said Valencia have today made a second offer to sign Spurs midfielder Harvey White on loan after their first offer was rejected, but the loan payment asked by Tottenham makes the deal very unlikely. Reports from Spain via Daily Hotspur say Valencia have an agreement with Harvey White for him to join on loan, and the midfielder is pushing for the move. Tottenham want a €1.5 million loan fee for the midfielder, which the Spanish club are unwilling to pay in addition to his €2.5 million wage. And Sky Sports today came out with their own input on the story, saying Valencia are interested in taking Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Harvey White on loan for the rest of the season with an option to buy. As things stands, Spurs do not want to allow the player to leave the club this month. So a few very different reports coming out there, suggesting that we're at different stages of the deal, summed up there on the bottom of the screen. But Marcelo, we'll start with you. We saw you praying there as I was reading those out. You want White's gone, don't you?
Yeah, look, listen. Now, if I had to choose between Dele Alli and Harvey White, it's Harvey White any day of the week. I thought, we need some attacking forwards. We need goal scorers. We don't need any more passengers. You know what I mean? And Dele, he's an attacking option, and I rather keep our attacking options and sell the players that don't want to be positive, don't want to do the work, and just basically want a free cab ride. And sorry, Hank Winks, you gotta go, man. You know what I mean? Like get Gedson's loan out. You know what I mean? Open up a foreign spot, sell Winks, get the money, and then get Sabitzer, get someone that's the real deal, get someone that's gonna do the job, and let's go.
I think you couldn't say it any better, David, could you?
No, look, I'm going to try and hide my smile on this news. Actually, no, I'm not, to be honest. I'm not. As soon as I've seen it, look, the news gave me a bit of a hard on because, look, at the end of the day, I have been saying for months, it just hasn't been, he's not good enough for Tottenham. Actually, no. I've been saying it longer than this. I've been saying it since I very first started coming onto YouTube back at that Newcastle game last year after the lockdown. He's just not good enough for Tottenham. And for me, yeah, look, sell him, loan him, and hopefully get the money off Valencia in the
we are Tottenham TV in
Ben and Sim. But look, hopefully get the money in the summer and replace him. Look, to be honest with you, what I will say is
there's no chance Winks is going. I think we know who that is.
Look, there probably is no chance that he's going this month. And I 100% that's Sim. He's doing it to get at me and get me riled up. I know he is. But no, look, 100%. I don't think he will go in January. To be honest, I think it would be stupid to let him go. But come the summer, please get rid of the guy. He's not good enough.
Yeah.
We've channel member here, Paul Markey, saying totally agree with the guys. Please let it happen. Bye Winks. What are you about to say there, Marcelo?
No, I completely agree. I listen, look, it's just like, it's gotten to a point where, if we want to win trophies, we want to win the Premier, like, I want to win the Premier League. I want to win the Premier League, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we have been 60 years without a league title. Too long. We've been through the dark ages. I have crawled through the depths of freaking Mordor, man. You know what I mean? I reached the mountain. Let's get some quality players. I just want quality. I want to see quality. I'm sick and tired of just heart, passion, desire. Oh, he knows what the club is, bro. I don't care about that. I want ability. I want skills. I want, fight. I want dribbling. You know what I mean? I saw 90 minutes of Gedson Fernandes. Going like hitting the Marine defender. It's just not good enough. I want ability. Give me ability.
Can I add a point as well? I just want to say my piece on Winks as well, because I have to say I agree with you guys. I think it's got to a point for a while now where he's just simply not good enough for Tottenham. He's not the type of player that's going to take us to that other level, the sort of top level consistently that we want to be at. And I think David's right. I think now you can understand why we don't want to let him go, because it's midway through a season. You don't want to disrupt the squad as well, because we still got players like Skip on loan and stuff. So you don't want to sort of free up a hole in terms of squad depth and stuff. So I can understand maybe why they don't want to let him go now. However, in the summer, then I think in the summer's the time to let him go for me. I think if you get a good offer in the summer, whether it's this offer from Valencia or whatever, if it comes in the summer, let him go, bring Skip through. And I think, it's that simple. I just don't think Winks isn't good enough. It's just as simple as that. He's not good enough to sort of be a player that belongs to a sort of trophy-winning side. He doesn't have the mentality or the ability. And I think we saw from his mentality, the way he sort of came out and sort of said how he deserves more game time. Well, the thing is, he doesn't deserve it because he wasn't showing it. I know he's had a couple of good games lately, but at the end of the day, a couple of games doesn't justify however many years now of just sort of inconsistency. And it's just... he's just simply not good enough. And I think I'll say it again. I can understand not letting him go in January. However, in the summer, I'd be really surprised if the club still don't want to let him go in the summer. I'd be completely stunned if that's the case in the summer.
Just to add to that, Charlie, look, if there is a bit of cash floating around where we can go and get like Sabitzer or a replacement for Winks, just let him go until the end of the season, and then hopefully Valencia take the option to buy. Because for me, look, we're never going to win anything major or consistently with Harry Winks. I just want trophies. I want the best for my club. And at the end of the day, all them Winks fans, they're lying to themselves out there. They are lying to themselves. They know he's not good enough. They just thought I can get the sentimental value and he's homegrown, he's from the club, he's from the academy. But then Winks fans are lying to themselves. They know he's not good enough.
I'll just say this as well. It was real. Yeah, I was going to say this as well. Mention the homegrown quota, and
he signed it off, so we don't tax him.
And I'll just make a point on that as well. We've had this problem for however many years now. I remember we had to leave it. I think it was Lamela and Foyth one year in the Champions League, and it's a problem. I think if you get rid of Winks, that's why I said it makes more sense in the summer, because if you get rid of him, you've still got Skip there, it's like a like for like thing essentially. Homegrown player out, homegrown player comes back into the squad, and it is a problem we've got. I think that sort of means we should be offloading more players. You have to look at the likes of Gazaniga. If we get an offer for him, we'll probably do it. You look at Fernandes, he's just been useless since he's come here, so I think his loan will be cancelled soon. And you look at other sort of foreign players, maybe someone like Lamela, if because of his injuries and stuff. I know he's a good squad player to have, but because of his injuries and stuff, maybe if an offer came in for him, the club would do it. Maybe even someone like Lucas Moura. I know he scored a brilliant free kick yesterday, but at the end of the day, you've seen how inconsistent he is. So again, another sort of foreign player could free up a foreign spot. And
I'd rather keep Lucas than Lamela. I already told David this. You know what I mean? You can have a Ferrari, but it has no engine.
Yes. So would I, because of the injuries.
You know what I mean? Like, it's time to sell Lamela. I love the guy. He's a skillful player. He's a baller, but he's got to go. You know what I mean? There's no point of keeping a Ferrari in a garage if you're never going to drive it. There's no point of it. You know what I mean? He's a good player, but he can't play. Too many injuries. Sorry. Bye-bye. Cut the sentimental. Let's be the bad guys for once. You know what I mean? That's what Jose said. You know what I mean? Let's be the bad guys. Like, let's be the C word. You know what I mean? And let's sell, like, dude, if you're being Deadwood, you gotta go. And as far as Ben said, we can't sell Winks because he's an English player. Here's a solution for you. Sell Winks, sell Gedson, free up an international spot. No, promote Harvey White. I don't care. Promote Harvey White for the rest of the season, and then get Sabitzer. I'd rather do that a million times.
Yeah.
Look, I would take that any day.
For me, with this homegrown,
sorry, go ahead, David.
No, sorry, quickly. Just for me with this homegrown rule, look, it's simple. You sell Harry Winks, you promote a youngster, and then you bring in a foreign player and replace a foreign player at the club who just hasn't been cutting it. Look, at the end of the day, like I keep talking about, I want to win titles. I want to win titles. So we need to start thinking what's very best for our club. And that's it at the end of the day. And as well, if Ben is watching, why don't we get Ben on as well? Why don't we get Ben on and let him have a little discussion?
If Ben wants to come on, put it in there, Ben, if you do want to come on. We'd love to have you here on for the chat. But look, on that point about needing the English player, I was saying it to you yesterday, David, on the watch-along that we're at a point where kind of the spine of our team is foreign players. You look at like Lloris, Alderweireld, Højbjerg, Son, and players that we're looking to bring in. The spine of our team is non-English players, non-homegrown players, and we need to find a way to get around that. And I think potentially something the club have identified is, instead of trying to find the best English players that we can and bring them in, it's like kind of finding spaces in the squad where we can sacrifice a decent foreign player for a kind of subpar homegrown player. Like I said, with Gazzaniga, it looks like we've kind of shipped him out to get in a lesser goalkeeper in Joe Hart, but someone who does push us one step closer to that homegrown quota. And maybe another space where they have identified that is perhaps in our like 5th, 6th choice midfielder. So from a Spurs point of view, you can see what Harry Winks does offer, because he's just someone there to hit a quota, but you can't expect him to be happy with that. He's someone who in the past has been a first team player for us, and he's going to want that, or he's going to want to leave. Even though he's a Spurs fan, at the end of the day, he's going to want to put his career first, and you can't blame him for that. And Ben here as well saying Gedson isn't taking up a foreign spot because he's under 21. So he wouldn't leave any room for Sabitzer, but of course there are some younger players we could potentially come in, get in, and he says he'll come on. Absolutely fantastic. Ben,
sorry,
Matt,
Matt,
link to your Tottenham TV thing there.
Yeah, I'd be delighted to get Ben on. Let's get Ben on. Let's hear what he has to say. But firstly, look, if we're talking about Harry Winks being at Tottenham specifically to meet a quota, that's shocking. That's shocking. If you want what's best for Tottenham, you have to cut this sentimental crap. You have to cut this quota crap. And you have to start. Look, we make profit year on year most years. Where's the money going? I understand a lot of it went into the stadium and the training ground. But, like, where's the ambition at this club? This is what pisses me off.
I'll just talk about. I had a point there because I've got a stat to share here on the stream. Out of not this year, but over a number of years or whatever it was, right? Out of every Premier League club, the lowest percentage of our income goes on transfers. Out of all Premier League clubs, we have the lowest percentage of income that goes on transfers, and I think that's a problem, as David was saying there. Come on,
you know.
Hey Ben,
Benji.
He's in the car.
Go on, give us your shout.
The vets waiting for the vets.
Oh, okay.
We got
that's
a dog
a nice dog.
That dog's already my best guest in this channel.
But what I'm saying is, in terms of Harry Winks, we can't afford to sell him right now. There's just no way we can afford to sell him with the English quota. I get what you guys are saying, that he's not good enough, what have you. I personally think he's good enough to be a squad player. I don't think he's good enough to start week in, week out. And we've got players that start ahead of him week in, week out. It's that spot, that Sissoko role, that Winks role that we need to buy someone eventually. But right now, we can't sell Winks. We need to sell a foreign player. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Would you say Lamella's the best one? Because I as much as I love him, it's just his injuries is
never on the pitch. That's the thing.
Yeah, probably Lamella. Lamella's probably had his time at Spurs now. He's been here a long time. I can't see him getting another contract with his injuries and what have you. But for me, Davinson Sanchez probably.
Yeah, he's got a guy. He's got a guy. Yeah. He's one of the worst defenders.
Benji, I like the way you think. I like the way you think. You think similar along the lines to me with players to go. I love it.
Yeah. Ben is a real Yedo, you know what I mean?
He thinks a bit differently to you, David.
Yeah. I challenged him on his thoughts about Winks before. Look, at the end of the day, I can see why people defend the guy, but for me, just in terms of where we want to go, he's not good enough. And we need to start shipping on some of these squad players to generate cash in order to reinvest in the first team, because you're not going to sell the likes of Son, Kane, anyone like that. So you have to start selling these squad players who just haven't offered anything to the club, haven't been good enough, and is not good enough. And we have to get them on to start reinvesting to build a better squad.
Do you know what it is as well, David, as well? You look at players like Winks, I question his mentality as well, because I feel like you look at some of the games he started in, when things going wrong, I remember him making a few mistakes. I think it might have been against Antwerp, actually, to be honest, where he just said the game was going wrong and he ends up making mistakes. And I think you have to question his mentality, because I just feel like he's one of the few players. Obviously, most of our squad has sort of moved in the same direction as what Mourinho is trying to take us into. But I feel like there's an odd there's maybe like one or two players or something that sort of are still stuck in the old Spursy mentality that we're trying to pull away from. And I feel like Winks could be one of them players, because judging by the comments he made about game time and stuff, that's a weak mentality to me. Because if he had a strong mentality, he'd be saying like, oh, I'm not getting games at the moment, but I'm going to try and do everything I can to get back in the team, instead of just saying that he deserves it for no reason. So I think that's another thing you've got to question Winks on, not just his ability, but his mentality as well. And we can't have passengers like that, ability and mentally as well. No passengers for me.
Can I make the point that even if we get rid of Harry Winks, immediately what we have to do is we have to get a player in. We have to get someone who can replace him. Yeah. That would probably have to be an English player. If there's some workaround in terms of selling other players, it could be a foreign player.
I think we've got one. We got Skip. We got Skip. I feel.
I think Skip is the heir to the.
Skip is.
I was going to say throne, but Harry Winks doesn't sit on a throne.
No, Skip. I'll be honest. I really like Skip. I think I've seen him at Norwich. I did actually some commentary for Tottenham Tactics today on a video of sort of analysing Skip and how the sort of crucial role he plays for Norwich. And yeah, definitely, I think Skip's, as you said, there's no throne there, but he's definitely sort of the successor, if you could call it that.
I think the summer he has to go. I think in the summer Winks has to go, though, because we're going to have Cess, we're going to have Skip. There's no more excuses. We got 2 homegrown players back. We got to sell Winks after that. Not good enough.
Yeah, that was the point I was going to make. That Sessegnon will be back in the summer. Skip will be back. So they will be homegrown. So that, you know, that kind of resolves that problem a little, which kind of relieves you up Winks to kind of sell him. Do you know what I mean? But look, I think we're all in agreement here, unless it was Sim instead of Ben, that look, Winks just isn't going to cut it at Tottenham.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that does seem to be the opinion. And look, I think if we do get rid of Winks, of course, we have to bring someone in. There's a risk. Will that player even be up to the standard that Winks is at? There's a lot of questions that need to be asked. But I suppose we can say safely the general opinion here is that Harry Winks going is probably the best thing for the club at the moment. But let's go on to some of our potential incomings. And one of those is Nicolas Gonzalez, an Argentinian winger for Stuttgart in the Bundesliga. David Ornstein has come out with this story that Tottenham have held discussions with Stuttgart to sign winger Nicolas Gonzalez ahead of the summer. Stuttgart will be looking for a fee of £30 million. Charlie, I know you've been looking a bit at Gonzalez. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, so this Nicolas Gonzalez, when I saw the rumours today, I sort of did a little bit of research on him, and he's actually been one of the most prolific players in the Bundesliga. He scored, I believe it's 15 goals last season, already got, I think Matt said, 7 and 15 or something this season. 5 and 2, or whatever it was. But he's still a prolific winger. He's young. I believe he's 22, 23. And the fact we're already holding talks with him shows that we sort of value him quite highly, and we're looking to sort of maybe look sort of to the future. And we've seen with Bundesligas, we've seen from the Bundesliga, we signed Son from the Bundesliga. People forget that. We signed Son for 22 million from the Bundesliga. So a lot of players that have the potential to be world class do come from the Bundesliga. You look at De Bruyne as well. You look at a few others that I can't think of at the moment, but there's many coming from the Bundesliga. So I think Gonzalez, if we were to bring him in, he'd be a good addition, because you look, I know Bergwijn's doing well when he does play, apart from the finishing, of course, but we've seen we're not getting enough goals from the right wing, and I think maybe bringing in another right winger could be good for us, because it could maybe, if he can hit the ground running, it could maybe take the pressure off Kane and Son a bit. So yeah, Gonzalez, if we bring him in, a young player, definitely one for the future that we can sort of develop and build on. So yeah, if they're saying around 30 million euros or something. So for a player that's scoring sort of 15 goals a season in the Bundesliga, that's a good price for me. Really, really good. Looks like a good player there, Gonzalez.
Charlie, just before you move on, I just want to talk to you about that Gonzalez guy that you've just been chatting about. Sorry, the vet was just there.
Oh yeah.
But last season, Stuttgart were in the 2nd division in Germany.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So he scored 15 goals in the Bundesliga too. This year he's scored 4 goals in 9 games, which is still a good return. There's no two ways about it. But you know, Sonny was a completely established player in the Bundesliga before we signed him.
That's what I was going to say.
So in terms of Gonzalez, he might have a good future ahead of him, but I think he's one that's going to probably come and have a time to settle in period and take quite a bit of time to settle in, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you look at Son. Son took a year to settle in as well. Yeah. So I think it happens to a lot of players. It's not unusual for
especially the Bundesliga players. Especially if you're looking at Chelsea right now, it's very common for the Bundesliga players to kind of have a difficult first season. They need to kind of settle in. But
Yeah.
I don't want to go for him, bro. Listen, I've been harping about it. I want Sabitzer. I want the deal. I want the real deal right now.
Why
You know
not
what I mean?
both?
I'm tired of just I know, like I love these, young prospect signings. Stevie B, I'm sure he's going to become a great player. You know what I mean? He just needs a little bit of more confidence. But I want the real deal right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want a world-class signing. I know it's difficult. I know it's not easy. But you know what I mean? Like, for peace sake, we've gone through the dark era. I want to see some ability now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see real deals.
I think, Matt, there was a comment as well about Sabitzer saying that if we miss out on him, it will be like another Bruno Fernandes, and it's spot on. We can't let this one slide. We cannot, because
perfect opportunity.
he's available for like 30 million in the summer because he's got a year left on his contract. So we cannot let this one slide. We just can't.
Just on this Gonzalez guy. Look, I'm at a point now. Look, bringing him in, it'd be great for your FIFA career, your Football Manager career, but it's not good for Tottenham. I want the very best coming in now. That's it. Surely we need to start aiming higher and getting in better players. And if we want to win trophies, we're never going to start winning trophies if we keep bringing in these unknown quantities, hoping that they're going to work. Because that's what we're doing with this guy if it does happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we need to start thinking bigger and better. We need to start thinking like an elite club and getting in the
is Gonzalez a cheaper option to someone? Because I haven't seen another target in that position. So if he's a cheaper option, then maybe I can understand that. But
no, but Charlie, how many wingers are there out there? How many wingers are there out there? We're talking about Gonzalez.
No, but Charlie, that's a Spursy way of thinking.
No. I'm saying
if he's cheaper, get him. Get the right guy.
No, what I'm saying is, are we targeting someone better than him in that position? Because I haven't seen any sort of rumours of us going after a better right winger, for example. That's what I'm saying. Because
we should.
Yeah, exactly. We should, and I agree with what you're saying. I'm not trying to think in that sort of mentality. I agree with what you're saying. If there's someone better that we can get, then why not go for it? To be honest, but I'm just saying because I haven't seen any other rumours of other right wingers, and I think he's literally the only sort of player that's being banded around in that position at the moment. So look, if someone better comes along, then obviously I'll be more in favour of that player. Of course, it's like common sense if you in that way. But no, I agree with what you're saying there. I think David's right in the sense that it's good to have these prospects come in and stuff like you saw with Bergwijn and stuff. But I think as well as these prospects, you need to get sort of proven players, world-class players as well on top of it, and sort of build a squad with a good balance of sort of experience.
I'll say this. Look, listen. I think Liverpool, and I don't know if Ben or anybody else will agree with me, I think Liverpool are in a transition phase very soon. Not right now, but I think very soon they're going to get into the transition phase. And that's when we need to capitalize. That's going to be our best window of opportunity to win the Premier League. And we need to start start buying and, selling the deadwood, but we need to start buying the real deal right now. Because I'm telling you, this Liverpool squad and maybe next season or next 2 seasons, they're going to start, selling players. They're going to start hitting that transition phase that Chelsea is right now. Chelsea are in a transition phase right now, and we need to capitalize on this moment. I think the league is right open for us for the taking. You know what I mean? Yeah. We didn't capitalize it when it happened in Leicester. And if we don't capitalize it now, I think we're going to regret it. I'm telling you, we're going to look back at this and regret it. Levy needs to stake on this podcast.
Marcelo, who are you expecting to get on this right wing? Please tell me.
Look, listen. I personally, I don't know. I don't have the answer. But listen, we pay these scouts teams for a reason, right? We pay these guys to do the job.
Steve Hitchen.
Yeah, we pay them to unearth these gems like Heung-min Son. We pay them to unearth these gems. This guy's going to cost 30 million. We're not going to find someone for 80 million. We don't have the money.
I feel like we can get the real deal. I mean, Sabitzer can play right wing. That man can play anywhere. Get Sabitzer. I'm telling you.
Just because he can play right wing doesn't mean he should play right wing, though.
And he should be attacking him anywhere, bro. I'm telling you. I just want the real deal. I want the real deal.
It doesn't matter. Our targeting of Nicolas Gonzalez doesn't matter. It has absolutely nothing to do with Sabitzer because the situation is we just can't afford him. We can't afford Marcel Sabitzer. And Gonzalez, look, I'm very surprised with this link. He does not fall into the demographic of player that we've seen linked to Tottenham over the last couple of months since Mourinho came in. It's usually players at like 25, 26, 27 years of age, moving into the prime of their career, and are ones that can be thrown straight into the team. Now, this thing is potentially signing Gonzalez in the summer, so it's not even an immediate thing. But I don't think it's a Jose Mourinho signing if it is true, if it does happen. I think it's one that's looking perhaps beyond Mourinho's time at the club. We know he's not going to be there for that long. And I think it is one that's looking for further into the future. And my biggest question with that would be, if we can't afford the targets we have now, surely we should save that money and maybe see if we can afford them in the summer rather than spending them on a player that we can't use in the immediate future. Because let's not kid around. Jose Mourinho was brought in for the now. He was not brought in for the future. We don't care about the future of Mourinho in charge. We want him now, and we want success now. So I think Gonzalez, from what I've seen of him, he's a good player. He's a clinical player. He's versatile, but he's not a Mourinho signing. And for that reason, I just don't think it's one that we should make at all.
My point is, Matty, and I think what Marcelo's trying to get at is as well. Why would you bring Mourinho in and then tell us there's no money for the targets he wants, and then go and spend 30 million on a guy like Gonzalez, who is a nobody? In fairness, he's a nobody. He's playing Bundesliga 2 last year. So, would surely you give that 30 million to Jose? Because if you look back over the years on Jose's signings, he's unearthed some real gems. So surely you give that money to Jose and you say, right, what targets realistically that we can afford do you want? And we'll go all out for it. You don't just go and spend 30 million
as well, David.
On an unknown quantity of winger that may or may not work out. You just don't do it. You look at realistic as well. Like realistic, you look at there's players that are realistic that we can get. I do think Sabitzer is a realistic target in the summer when he's going into the last year of his contract. I do think Sabitzer is a realistic target then. The same with Milenkovic as well, that Marcelo always talks about. Milenkovic, I've seen a bit of him now. He looks a player. He's got a 22 million release clause. Milenkovic is definitely someone there. So there is players that you could get that have sort of maybe release clauses or sort of going into the last year of their contracts that are sort of proven players that could definitely help us out a lot. And I think Sabitzer is definitely one that is gettable in the summer, particularly if Dele goes as well. Look, if Dele goes, whether that's in January or the summer, I still think either way, Sabitzer's gettable for me. He really is gettable because of the contract situation and stuff.
Yeah, look, fingers crossed that's one that we can get done over the summer. There's a comment in here about Eder Militao, who we'll talk about now, but there's 200 people watching the stream live now. Please, if you are enjoying it, smash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new. Every possible bit of Spurs content you could run from a channel, you'll be getting it here, so make sure to smash that button. And I think Marcelo, we know what he thinks about Eder Militao.
Come on,
let's go. Have said Tottenham have made a loan offer for Real Madrid defender Eder Militao. Jose Mourinho is a big fan of the Brazilian. There are reports that Zinedine Zidane would be willing to let Militao go out on loan towards the end of the season, potentially for about a £2.5 million loan fee. Marcelo, tell us about him.
Listen, bro, Eder Militao, he's a class defender. He can also play around. He can also play as a DM. He's got good pace. And listen, we haven't seen much of him in Real Madrid, but that's because they got Ramos and Varane, and those are two established players. He's only 22 years old. Listen, he is young. And I always say this: if you're gonna put a young defender under like 24 years old, right, with that doesn't have as much experience, they're gonna make some mistakes. But what I will say about Eder Militao, and from what I've seen him, he has a lot of promise. He's a great player, and he definitely would be an improvement over Dyer. I'm telling you, 100% improvement over Dyer. He's definitely an improvement over what we have right now. I'm telling you this. He's a good player.
I think there's a lot of players that could definitely improve our defense. You look at
he wouldn't be my first choice. I will say this. He wouldn't be my first choice. It would be Milenkovic. I've been saying it. But he's definitely a good option to have.
The only way he's playing Dyer, the only way he'd be replacing Dyer in the squad is if he's better with his feet than Dyer. That's the only way. Because let's be honest, Dyer has been sound defensively.
No, he has better.
He has. It's just his feet. His passing's terrible. That's the problem. His out and out defending's been very solid this season. I think he's been one of our better players in that aspect. But in terms of technical ability, he's not the best. You have to admit it.
I'll say this.
If we loan in Militao, do you think that means we'll end up selling Sanchez?
Either way, I still would sell Sanchez and then bring in a replacement like maybe a Skriniar or a Milenkovic or even a Militao. So either way, I think Sanchez has to go either way. He's not good enough for me. It's just simply not good enough, Sanchez. And I think either way, we need a replacement for him.
Personally, I think the perfect replacement for Dyer is in our squad and the team. And I've been harping about him. The Welsh Maldini. The Welsh Maldini. Like, honestly, as much as I love my countrymen, Militao, I think the Welsh Maldini is perfect. He's a perfect player to play.
Played well yesterday. Even though it was against Mourinho, done well.
Look at the pace. Man got pace, bro. I'm telling you.
Look, the way you burn those 8th-tier defenders was absolutely
best in the world. Look,
Benji, what's your thoughts on Eder Militao?
I don't see the sense of getting him on loan.
I agree.
The guy's a 22-year-old defender. There's no there's no one saying that he's going to be better than Davinson Sanchez right now. Maybe in a year or two's time, yeah, he'll be better than Davinson Sanchez. But what's the point of getting him on a 6-month loan and then we'd need to sell someone now to put him in the squad for now? It doesn't make sense to me.
I think as well.
In terms of like defenders that we're looking at, like we can sit here and we can say we want Skriniar, we can say we want Milenkovic, and even Militao on a permanent deal, but I think we have to find a balance in terms of players that we want and players that as a big club we should be looking at. But also we can't ignore the financial impact that the last year has had on clubs like Spurs. You know, there's some teams that just about managed to come through it. Like, you know, Wolves made a lot of signings. I think Leeds did as well, and of course Chelsea. But yes, we're a big club, and yes, we want to attract these players, but the money just isn't there, and you can't blame the club for that. You can't blame anybody for that. I think we do need to find that balance in who we actually want, who we want the club to bring in.
What I will say as well is that I think Joe Lewis is a massive problem because he's been doing this for years in terms of the guy's worth $4 billion and hasn't put a single penny into the club. Maybe to be a responsible owner of a football club, maybe make a little investment. Well, small for him, probably not small for anyone else, but make an investment there to help the club out, whether that's for transfers or just to sort of help. Instead of the club taking out a loan of the bank, maybe Joe Lewis should be doing that sort of thing and helping. So I think he's a problem in this in Joe Lewis, that he's not putting any of his money into the club when he owns the club.
Well, he's a prophet.
There's two ways you can look at it, though. There's that way you can look at it, and there's the way Joe Lewis has taken us from a mid-table. We were struggling with relegation even at some points at the early years of Joe Lewis's tenure.
I think that's more Levy.
To going to a Champions League fucking final, to going to year after year Champions League football above the Arsenal. He's done it his own way, and he maybe thinks he can still take us further doing it his own way.
I think in that sense, I think you've got to give Levy more credit there than you do Joe Lewis, because you look at Levy, he's more involved with everything. To be honest, he's every. So I think in that sense, I think that's more Levy. To be honest, he's sort of definitely taken.
One thing I will say, lads, is the loan we took out, like that was to cover kind of the losses that we were going to incur over this period with the COVID. And the thing is, you know, when you're sitting there watching Sheffield United sign Ryan Brewster spending 30 million, Sander Berg signing 30 million, and we're sitting here signing fuck all. Like, what is going on, lads? Honestly, what is going on? You have to think of it in terms like you see all these clubs coming up, you see all these other clubs spending massive money. And we sit here and spend nothing.
We spent like 60 million.
We had the best transfer window of anyone in the Premier League this year.
Yeah, we did.
Joe Hart was free. We spent fuck all on Doherty. We spent next to nothing on Højbjerg. Like, and then when you see all these other clubs coming in signing players for the amount of money they do, like, it's embarrassing, to be honest.
Forget the money.
It doesn't all come down.
Forget the money.
Exactly.
Look at the quality we brought in. We brought in Reguilon, one of the best left backs in the league. We brought in Gareth Bell. Yeah, it hasn't worked out just yet, but we brought in top quality players. Carlos Vinicius, who scored a hat trick on the weekend. Yeah, it was against Marine, but he's been scoring goals in Europa League as well. You know, we brought in quality players this summer, and we're 4 points off the top of the league with a game in hand. We're in the cup final of the Carabao Cup. We're going in the FA Cup, and we could go far in the Europa League as well. So it's not all doom and gloom. Come on.
No, I agree with you, man. I agree with you, but I'll have your point. I remember watching a video one time, though. You were very upset that I think what was it, in the 2016 and 17 season when Pochettino asked for reinforcements when we could have won the league. I remember a video where you were very upset and Levy did not reinforce them. Do you
I'm
think
still upset about it now?
Yeah, no, I'm still same as me, man. But I'm just saying, do you think that could be another moment where we have a chance at winning the league and maybe just two signings? I'm not saying like go broke. Just two good signings could get us over that hurdle. And if we don't do that, we can live to regret it. Do you think this could be another moment?
Look, I'd love to sit here and say like, yeah, let's go get this one, let's go get that one. But like Matty said, the money is just not there. The pandemic happened. We spent money in the summer. We spent a lot more than we thought we were going to spend. We got a lot more players in than we thought we were going to get. And we're going good this season, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's
just
not
on your
all
point, David, about like a lot of teams spend a lot more money than us. Would you rather spend 50 million on Timo Werner or 15 million on Pierre-Emile Højbjerg? It's purely down to how you spend the money, not how much you spend.
No, I agree.
Look, you're picking me up wrong, right? So we were saying that there's no money to spend, right? But then you look at these other clubs who are spending vast fortunes of money. And most transfer windows, we come out like, okay, last summer we had a blinder, we had a good window, we got in the right players. But the thing is, we're talking about having no money to spend. When you're looking at these smaller clubs like Sheffield Sheffield United and stuff like that, and they're going out and spending fortunes. Like, where's our money? Like, I understand we put money into stadium. I understand we put money into the new training complex and everything else. But like, where's our investment in the squad? The reason why we bought some of the players we did in the summer is because we didn't invest in previous summers. It's as simple as that. Like, you're telling me we would have went for Doherty if we would have invested in previous summers in the right positions? No, we wouldn't have. We wouldn't have. And this is what I mean. Like, look, don't get me wrong. I'm with Ben. Like, yeah, we're 4 points off the top. I'm one of the most positive Spurs fans there is. But my point is like, if they have the money to spend, why do we as Spurs fans always sit here giving excuses why we can't go out and sign players instead of just going out and buying a player?
It's not excuses, it's facts. It's like living in the real world. You know what I mean? It's just
but Ben, I've been hearing this for the last 15 years as a Spurs fan. It is excuses at this point.
I'll say this, Ben.
I don't think it is.
We are one of the. I think Charlie brought up the stat. We are one of the. Like, I think our board are the lead
basically
board that invests in our club.
No,
like,
basically what it is, I'll tell you what it is again, right? Out of all Premier League clubs and their income they get from everything in their season, right? Out of all clubs, we have the lowest percentage of income that goes on transfers out of every Premier League club. Yeah, that's the stat.
So what I'm saying, Ben, you know what I mean? Like, these guys went years of not investing, like, in the club, not investing profit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, I just want to see a year of just a little. Like, I know it's tough. I agree with you. We're a very tough situation, but I just want to see a year where they just dig in their pockets and just show a little bit of ambition for once. You know what I mean? 1 year, like, we're 4 points off the top. Just one signing. I'm asking for just one world-class signing at least, maybe.
All right,
you know what I mean?
Cool. What about this? We spend £1 billion on the stadium. We haven't spent a penny in the previous years. Last season at White Hart Lane. The season before, the season after, whatever, 2 years at Wembley. Yeah. The next season, Poch's last summer, with the biggest transfer spenders in the Premier League. Tanguy Ndombele, 65 million. Giovanni Lo Celso, 55 million. We signed Ryan Sessegnon that year for 20 million or whatever it was as well. And then the following summer, we get the best transfer window we've had in the last ever, probably. So I don't know what the problem is.
Can I say a few super chats here to read out? F-Dog saying Dyer and Davis out. Winks does well for his role. And Deck W saying, can we swap Jose for Mikel Arteta since Spurs does not have money to buy?
You're not a Tottenham.
Come on.
I think he's saying there's no point in having Jose Mourinho if we're not going to sign the players that he wants, which is a very good point. And I think
that's what I said. I said that when he came in. I said when he came in, I was like, when the appointment was made, I was like, yeah, I'm happy with Mourinho as long as we back him. But if we don't back him, then what's the point?
But he's doing well with
and that's good.
He's given him.
No, we did back him in the summer to an extent. We did back him in the summer with the players and stuff. So that's why I'm still happy with Mourinho, because I knew that if he was backed, we'd be getting the right man. It's just I was very worried that he won't be backed when he came in. That's all I was saying with him.
All right, lads, my battery's about to die, so I'm about to
Hey, Ben, I have one question. Do you think we're going to sign someone?
My battery's literally going to die, so if I cut off...
Okay, all right. All good.
Come on, Benji.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
I was going to say, if it wasn't for Ben and Sim, we are Tottenham TV, Marcelo and David would not be on this channel. So Ben, from all the Spurs creators, from all the Spurs fan base on YouTube, thank you so much for starting that fan show and getting a fantastic community together here on YouTube. We really appreciate it. And,
big up Benji and Sim.
Battery might be gone.
His battery's gone. Yeah.
Look, we could sit here all day and we could debate this whether Tottenham have the money or not. There's another player we've been linked to that I want to have a quick chat about as well. Julian Araujo, right back for LA Galaxy, about £5 million. It's another one, I think, kind of along the similar lines to Gonzalez. It's not one that you'd expect Mourinho to make. It doesn't seem like a very logical signing. You know, we signed Doherty, it's not working out for him, but Araujo isn't the answer. David, what do you make of this one?
To be honest with you, when we were talking about Matt yesterday, I wasn't surprised, and I think it's one that could come to fruition. We've seen Spurs, like you've seen DeAndre Yedlin coming over. And look, we all know at right back, look, Aurier is suspect to a mistake. Doherty hasn't got going. So maybe it's another one. It's a cheap option. Come in, see how he goes. He obviously has the attributes and qualities to try to be able to make it as a professional, or else we wouldn't be signing him to be able to make it in the Premier League. So look, my opinion is bring him in, give him 6 months, see how he fares, especially if it's only for 5 million or that. Do you know what I mean? And see what he can do. But at the end of the day as well, like, why are we targeting these? Like, I can understand it in a way, like, you know, bring him in, see how he goes. It's a cheap option, but like, I just keep harping back to it, Matty. I'm sick of these cheap options. Like, when are we going to start signing the real deals? When are we going to start matching the fans' ambition with the right players? Like, look, we can sit here and talk about Lo Celso coming in, Ndombele coming in. Right, the thing is, people say the great signings. Okay, now Dembele has worked out, but for a year and a half, he was idle. So we spent 80 million on nothing for that year and a half. So he didn't instantly come in and make an impact. Lo Celso, okay, yeah, I get it. He has all the qualities. Lionel Messi praises him a lot for Argentina, but he's yet to replicate that in a Spurs shirt consistently. You brought in Joe Hart on a free, suspect from long ranges. So look, I don't think, like, okay, we got Højbjerg in and a couple of other players who have, like Vinicius and that, who have kind of worked out. But look, that's masking our transfer activity. Realistically, it hasn't been as good as everyone thinks it has. And I'm just sitting here at the point where I don't want any of these side men. I want the real deal in at my club. I want to be lifting trophies. I'm sick of watching Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Arsenal lifting all these trophies, and we're always sitting here, oh, well, if we sign the player, if we sign this player, if we sign that player, that'd be us. Yeah. We have to start signing the real deal. But where is our ambition?
No, we do have to start signing the real deals, and I completely agree with you, and I share your frustration, I share your anger, I share your jealousy at those bigger clubs. But the reality of the situation is that just can't happen now. Like, you talk about Sheffield United and the money they've been able to spend, same with Wolves and Leeds, but you also have to look at Barcelona. They couldn't make any signings. Real Madrid, for the first time in 70 years, did not make a summer signing last year. Bayern Munich can't sign anybody. This is affecting everybody differently. But no,
Matty, this is different. This is different. Look how much they spent on their players when they were bringing them in, compared to how much we spend on our players bringing in. No wonder why they couldn't afford anyone.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, teams with that absolutely massive transfer budget, it's a thing they have all the time, a regular huge transfer budget. If they're being affected in a way that they can sign players like this, I don't see why it would be fair of us to demand that Tottenham do the same. But I do completely agree with you. I want us to be that team. I want us to be signing those big players, but it's just not realistic at the moment.
No, but what I say to you is, Matty, there's a difference. So Real Madrid, Juventus, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, they've been spending big money for the last 20 years. It was eventually going to catch up on them. They're going out, they're signing the top class best players in the world. Like, obviously at Tottenham, I'm not asking for the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, players like that. I'm asking for, like, likes of go make a stab at Jack Grealish, go make a stab at other top talents around other top clubs or around other clubs. Like, the thing is, like, I'm never going to compare us to Real Madrid and Barcelona purely because the vast amount of money they have spent over the last 15, 20 years compared to Tottenham. Like, and you're telling me we don't have any, like, and as well, the market is different now. Clubs are going to want to cut deals, and they're going to have to cut deals and come together and find a way to work around this in order to be able to get players in they want and get players out they want to sell. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. And look, listen, if you know what I mean? Like, okay, we bring in this kid from LA Galaxy, right? For $5 million. We take a little gamble. Okay, he doesn't work out. We got the same situation we're in now. We got a foreign slot. We got a ship player that we have to ship out, and then we can't ship out. And then we just wasted $5 million for nothing, and time, too. You know what I mean? We wasted $5 million and time. We keep doing this and over again. And sometimes it's worked out, and sometimes it's happened. But if you want to be a big club, a top club, you need to start signing the real deal. And I'm not even saying go out and spend 30 million, 40 million on the right back, right? Let's look at the Eredivisie right now, right? Dumfries, an excellent right back that PSV were willing to sign for 10 million, and we didn't sign him. PSV were willing to sign him for 10 million. That's $5 million or 5 million euros more than this guy. And he plays in a real league. He's played in the Champions League. He's a proven right back. He's a skillful right back. He plays in Europe. We could have bought him for 10 million, and now we're looking for 5 million. 5 million difference. This is what we're talking about.
For me, the thing is for me, it goes back to the Bruno Fernandes thing. That was only 5 million more we had to pay than what we originally bidded. Because we bidded 5 million less than what he was valued at. It's just stuff like that.
Like, they could have had Jack Grealish for like $6 million. Okay, if we're gonna take a risk, right? If we're gonna take a risk on a player, I'd rather take a risk on a player that's homegrown. because at least we don't have this foreign issue. You know what I mean? We take these risks with these foreign players, and then they turn out to be shit, and then we're in this position where we got too many foreign slots and we got to shit them out.
It just
And then
pains
we
me.
can't.
It just pains me that we paid 40 million on Sanchez instead of De Ligt, which probably would have been cheaper at the time. That's the
But
thing.
lads, the thing is, we're always going for the cheaper option. This is the way we've always been. I'm asking us to stop going for the cheaper option and start getting in the players that are going to make an impact. Like, for instance, you don't even have to spend a vast amount of money. Look at Højbjerg. Go and exploit situations like the Højbjerg one, where his contract is running out. Get him at a cheap option. Do you know what I mean? There is ways around it to get the best players in at Tottenham instead of going for the cheapest option. That's my point. Look, I see people saying, look, yeah, we have a stadium and all to pay for. I get that. I fully understand that. But the thing is, all them years building up to the stadium, we've been making profit, and never investing into the squad properly. And this is now, so now we're stuck with a stadium and everything else to pay for, and we need reinvestment in the squad. And now we're at this situation. Whereas if we would have put the money into the right areas beforehand, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this. Like, anyone that's sitting there telling me like there's no money there. Like, when are we going to start take a risk? Just take a risk. It's all I'm asking for. Take a risk.
How much did Liverpool pay for Mane? What was it?
30 million.
30 million.
Mane came to our training ground. We could have got Mane, and instead we spent 30 million on Sissoko.
Didn't he have the connection with Southampton, with Pochettino? Pochettino even asked for Mane. He wanted Mane.
Yeah, we got Sissoko instead for the same price.
50 million for a world-class player. We're not asking to spend 80 million. We're not asking to spend 70 million. Yeah. We're not asking for this.
Exactly.
We're asking for some fucking ambition. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of this shit, man.
I'm sure Matty wants to move on.
I don't want no MLS player. I'm sorry, Matty. I know.
I'm sure Matty wants to move on to the next segment. So I tell you what you do. Get your super chats in. We're going to start a fundraiser here on the Matt Hayes channel, and we're going to start funding the players ourselves. So get your super chats in and get the fundraising going.
Look, I won't say no to that. But look, lads, I think we can sit here all day and debate things about the money. We just want to get a few opinions on a few more players. If we can just keep it to the players themselves rather than a debate about money. Yeah. One we've spoken about a bit in the channel is Christian Eriksen. No, there's a lot of debate among the Spurs fan base at the moment. Just to bring you up to date on a few of the headlines with regards to him. Sky Sports News have said Mauricio Pochettino wants to make former Tottenham midfielder Christian Eriksen one of his first signings as PSG head coach. Other reports are suggesting that Poch would prefer to bring in Dele Alli, and that kind of fits into the stories with Tottenham as well, saying Jose Mourinho wants to bring Eriksen back to Spurs, but his wages may prove too big an obstacle to overcome. His arrival could depend on Dele Alli's departure. So potentially a bit of business going on there. With we've been told we do need to let players go if you want to bring him in this window. And one potential revolving door we could see is Ali going out one way and Christian Eriksen coming in the other. Look, we've heard it from all of you on this already, and at the moment I would take Christian Eriksen because he's a cheap option who can offer something in terms of rotation, and he's coming back, yes, but with his tail between his legs. But the difference for me is before he left, he didn't want to be there. But if he comes back, it'll be the best place for him, which I think is the difference potentially there. Charlie, we'll start with you. Eriksen back, yes or no?
It's a tough one here because I think, yes, if it's on like a 6-month loan where we're not paying much of his wages. And as you said, Matt, I agree. It's a good option to have. Maybe a player, sort of another weapon we have in our armory to sort of bring off the bench potentially, and for maybe even starting games for rotation. And at the end of the day, I think maybe until we can sort of bring Sabitzer in the summer, we can sort of have that option there on a 6-month loan for me. So, yeah, for me, if it was on a 6-month loan, yes, I would, but permanently, no. I think it's too much of a risk with the wages and the sort of age he's at, sort of 29, getting on a bit, not sort of old, but he's getting on a bit. So I think a loan, I'd be happy with a 6-month loan for him. Just as Matt said, gives us another option there, adds creativity, which sometimes we know we lack creativity when we have to try and break down these low block teams. So I think he definitely, if he was to come in, he could definitely add something to our squad. But at the end of the day, I just hope if he was to come in, he'd be motivated and not the Eriksen that left, because the Eriksen that left was just absolutely appalling mentally and on the pitch as well. So for me, if we can get a motivated Eriksen back on a 6-month loan without paying much of his wages, then yeah, I'll definitely take it. Another option, as I said.
Marcelo, Christian Eriksen?
No. Sorry. Listen, look, and Charlie, listen, lad, I love you, but if I hear another, like he's a cheap option, I'm gonna blow my brains off because this is what I hear around Spurs fans every day. Oh, he's a cheap option. Oh, he's a cheap option. Oh, listen, look, look. Eriksen was a great servant in the club, Matty. I agree with you. You know what I mean? And if we can get that old Eriksen back, I'll be more than happy. But that is a big if. Personally, I did not want Gareth Bale back.
That's why I'm saying alone. That's why I'm saying alone for Eriksen. So it's not a risk.
Even alone, because that's another deadwood player. Look, I personally love Gareth Bale. He's one of my favorite players of all time, right? Especially to wear the Tottenham shirt. But I did not want him back for the same reason. I would rather invest in youth or someone that's hungry that wants a trophy. You know what I mean? And listen, we're just bringing back, like, we what did we say last season, Charlie? We said, let's start the painful rebuild, right? It was the painful rebuild. And bringing Eriksen back completely goes against that. We need to start rebuilding. Get away from those players. You know what I mean? Let's look at fresh new options.
Lads, we're sitting here talking about ambition, and we're talking about Tottenham potentially re-signing Eriksen. Where is the ambition? He's a turncoat. He done nothing in the jersey for a year and a half. He engineered a move out and left us at our time of need when we really need him the most. I don't want him back near this club. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I don't want him back near this club. Like, the thing is, he's gone to Inter Milan. He's done nothing there as well, which means he's done nothing now for 2 years. What is making all these Spurs fans think he's going to come back and give us something different that he did than he did for the last year and a half he did at Tottenham and the last 6 months he spent at Inter? Honestly, we're sitting here talking about ambition. And we're talking about Christian Eriksen coming back to Tottenham. That's not ambition. And you're talking cheap again. I don't care about cheap. Go and get me Perisic on loan. I take Perisic on loan for 6 months. I don't want Eriksen back at the club.
Yeah, I just want to say there's just over 300 people in here watching live right now. Please, if you are enjoying this stream, make sure to go down and smash that subscribe button. Let's see if we can get to 4,900 subscribers by the end of this video. Links to David and Charlie's channels will be down in the description below as well if you want to go and check them out. And please smash that like button and see if we can get to 100 likes. Run 98. Let's see if we can get to 150 likes. There's 320 in here. We can get as many likes as we possibly. Let's get as many as we can. One thing I do want to touch on is Lille centre-back Sven Botman. And we have got an update from Fabrizio Romano, which I think isn't any sort of a surprise at all. It's that Tottenham do not have any plans to sign Botman from Lille this January window. He's a player who's been heavily linked with Real Madrid, but as I heard from Fabrizio Romano last week as well, Liverpool are unlikely to pursue any sort of a deal for him. It looks like they're about to extend Virgil van Dijk's contract. And I think, look, we don't want Botman. This is only his first season at Lille. He was a good option for Liverpool who don't have centre-backs, but we have centre-backs who are fitting well into our team. And look, we need young players, we need youth, but Jose Mourinho isn't going to use it.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Matt, but I've got to head off now, actually. But yeah, thanks for having me on, as always.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for joining, Charlie.
Cheers, David, as well, Marcelo as well. Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Talk to you soon, Charlie.
Cheers, guys.
Lads, you've anything to say on Botman?
To be honest with you, Matty, I actually don't know too much about him. I've never even heard of his name, and that's no disrespect to the lad. I'm just genuinely, honestly, I don't know anything about him, so it'd be stupid for me to comment.
Yeah, I know that he's a left-footed center back, and that Jurgen Klopp was very keen on signing him, and that he's very interested in him. And honestly, the fact that he is interested in him kind of says a lot, because like, usually, as much as I hate to give him credit, and I hate to give those scum any credit, Jurgen Klopp does have an eye for youth, and he does have an eye for talent. So if he's interested in him, it does say quite a bit about him. But other than that, I agree with David. I don't know much about him. I'd rather go for Milinkovic. The 25 million release clause is there. Just fucking activate it and just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah,
Matt, you're our transfer guru. Why don't you tell us a bit about him?
About Sven Botman?
Yeah.
Look, to be honest, I don't know too much about him because this is only something that came out today, and I didn't really feel the need to look into a player when we're hearing from the most reliable source that we're not going to be getting him. But look, as Marcelo says, if he's attracting interest from someone like Jurgen Klopp, he must be doing well, and he's a Dutch centre back, and we know how well they work out at Liverpool. But just look at this: he's made 19 appearances for Lille in the Ligue 1 this season. He's played 100% of their minutes. So look, he obviously has a lot of trust over. In that side there. Let's take a quick look at the table just to see how they're getting on.
They're actually doing pretty good, I think, right?
Well, if he's playing all the minutes, it means he's not very injury prone either.
Yeah, not injury prone. They're third in the table, just 1 point behind Lyon. They're level on points with Pochettino's PSG. So look, they're doing well. And if he's a young centre back who's a mainstay in that team, surely he must be a good player. He must be doing something right. But just on the point of youth, I want to touch on this one as well. We saw Harvey White having a very good performance yesterday in the FA Cup against Marine. He's a player who I know we have been calling for a lot on this channel. But Eddie Walbank from the Reading Chronicle has said Spurs have made Harvey White available for a loan move to Reading. Look, it's working well for Oliver Skip. We'll start with you, David. Could this move do Harvey White good?
Yeah, look, first of all, Matty, put some respect on his name. It's Harvey Dynamite White. You know exactly who it is.
Yeah. Hold on. It's Harvey Kid Dynamite White. All right? He's Kid Dynamite. He's not yet grown.
Look, for me, to be honest with you, I think a loan move would do him the world of good. If he can get out and get first-team football the way Skip has, hardy himself up, because look, you can play all the Premier League 2 football you want. It's never going to replicate being in a first team squad, being depended on for big games, for points. You know what I mean? And it's going to toughen the kid up as well. Look, for me, I don't think that is an issue, his mentality or his toughness, because he got a couple of nasty challenges yesterday against Marine. He got straight back up. But look, it's just about being in and around the first team, dealing with the pressures of every game matters, every point you get matters. And for me, it'd do him the world of good. If we can get Skip back in the summer, get Harvey White loaned out this January, get him the first team experience he needs. And yeah, look, he's a bright future in the game, this kid. I honestly tip him to become something special. So yeah, for me, I'm all for it. Get him out on loan. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I would love to get him out on loan. The only issue is that I feel like I just don't want it to end another Skip, situation where, personally right now, I would take Skip and Cess back right now, just cancel the loan and bring them back. I mean, because they're looking so good, and you know what I mean? And then we just have another season where, we see maybe, Winks just being trash, and you know what I mean? We're looking at Harvey White just balling, and we're like, oh my God, we should have just been playing him the whole entire time. And then, but no, I do agree. I think the low move will be good for him. But listen, I would have liked to see him more in the cup games, but we got to see him once. But yeah, the loan will be good.
Yeah, Orby Sport TV here saying Harvey is our Curtis Jones. And look,
yeah,
I think Curtis Jones.
That's a disrespect to Harvey White, bro. That's a disrespect to Harvey White. Don't ever compare him to Curtis Jones. I'm telling you, he's gonna be better. The
only reason people are praising Curtis Jones because he had to be thrown into that Liverpool team and he showed what he could do. And I think if Harvey White got the same opportunity at Spurs, I think he'd show something similar. Yeah. But the chances just aren't going to be there for him unless we do get some heavy injuries, which obviously we hope we don't. So I think a loan out to Reading could be the best thing for him. They started the championship season really well. They were top for a while. I think they have fallen away. I'll just double check the table. But you'd imagine if Spurs are willing to have Harvey White out there, they must be getting some sort of assurance that he will be in the first team. They're sitting 5th in the table. Yeah. So fighting for promotion would do Harvey White the world of good. Simon saying Spurs need to start spending like we mean business guys, what Liverpool did in 2018. Look, the money just isn't there. We actually have a new member here, Starting 7 Gaming. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Massively appreciated.
Matty, just on the Harvey White loan, sorry, quickly. Do you think that's going to, for me, it's either loan out Harry Winks or loan out Harvey White. It's one or the other. So I can't see the two of them happening. What do you think?
Yeah, I suppose we do need one of them. And, if we loan out Winks, maybe we could get a bit of a better chance for Harvey White. But I don't think it's a risk worth taking right now because
I don't think
Harry Winks. Yeah, although Harry Winks isn't at the level that we'd want him to be at, he's still at a better level for first team football than Harvey White is. And maybe White needs to get a bit more first team experience at other teams before he does manage to step into our team. Now, look, just one last thing I want to touch on before we head off, and we spoke a bit about it yesterday, and there's been a lot of people talking about it, and it is Gedson Fernandes, who is set to return to Benfica despite playing yesterday. Benfica have heard of a lot of interest from other clubs already. Spurs have an option to buy Gedson Fernandes for £55 million this summer. I have a feeling we won't trigger that one, but Marcelo, will you be happy to see the back of Gedson?
Please listen, Jensen. No hard feelings. I'm sure you're a good person, but please, just you're not at this level, son.
Get out of my
You're not a Lily White. Please, I saw that man. He couldn't dribble past a Marine defender. You know what I mean? I think he lost almost every duels he had. It was just horrendous. I couldn't believe. I couldn't believe he's a professional footballer. If I'm going to be honest, I think he found his level against Marines. I'm going to be really honest with you. I saw Harvey White, completing more dribbles, looking more, silky smooth. And also his final decision with the ball is horrendous. There was so many times where he could have just slid the ball to either Vinicius, Dele, or even Reguilon at one point. You know what I mean? Like, his final decision with the ball when in the final third moment is so awfully bad. But yeah, no, listen, goodbye, Gedson. Thanks for nothing, and best of luck wherever you go.
David?
Yeah, look, I want to start off by saying I actually want to know, is there anyone out there with a Spurs shirt that paid to get Gedson on the back? Because if they did, I feel so sorry for them. So if there's anyone in the comments that knows anyone, please let me know. But as well, look, Matty, for me, it was kind of, we loaned him in for a stopgap. We loaned him in to see kind of like, fill in where he can, see what he's like. And the reason why Benfica put 55 million buyout clause on it for Tottenham is because, look, they have to protect themselves. Just in case it did work out, they have to protect themselves and get some sort of fee for the guy. So that's why that was there. Look, Tottenham were never going to pay it. I don't think Tottenham were ever serious in the guy. I think it was just an option at the time that we could get in to kind of bulk up our midfield and that and give us another option. And look, it hasn't worked out. And for me, it was never going to work out because he broke onto the Benfica team. He fell out with the manager. The manager basically said he wasn't good enough and he was put down with the reserves, and then we loaned him. So he was never going to work out. And again, I don't understand why we done it in the first place. Like I said, it was for a stopgap, but like surely there's better out there. This is why I keep talking about ambition.
Yeah, I think what happened was Stevie Levy got confused. I think he thought it was a different Fernandes, so he accidentally signed it. When he heard the loan for Fernandes, he immediately triggered it, so he got confused. But yeah, no, listen, it was a useless signing. Let's be real here. But honestly, if someone does have a shirt of Fernandes, that would be almost like a relic. I kind of want to see that, bro.
Yeah, if you do have a Spurs jersey with Gedson, or you know someone who does, tweet me. My name. I'll just get it up there on the screen. Where my banner's gone. Oh, what have I done? I'm messing this up. If you have a Spurs jersey with Gedson on the back, tweet me at MattHayesTHFC as it is there in the stream, and we can see if any Spurs fan has been unfortunate enough to have one of those. As Luke Truniman here says, FA Cup draws on. Put down in the chat who you want to see Spurs get in the FA Cup. The draw starting in a couple of minutes. We have drawn the lowest ranked team in the competition. The last 3 draws we've been in, it's been Marine in the FA Cup, Brentford in the Carabao Cup, and Wolfsberger AC in the Europa League. So let's hope we can do the same again today and get Charlie. Draw for the 4th and 5th round is actually on today. David, who would you like to see us draw?
Look, I want the lowest ranked team again, Matty. We're in the chance for Premier League. We have a Carabao Cup final coming up, and we have double headers in the Europa League coming up as well. The legs in the Europa League now in the qualifying, 1 or 2 legs?
It's 2 legs.
2 legs. So we have 2 legs as well coming up in the Europa League. So we've got a lot of games coming up. I don't want a big team. I just want the lowest ranked team. Then hopefully we get to see the likes of Alfie Devine, Harvey White, and all again. And for me, that'll make it perfect.
Marcelo?
Listen, I want Norwich, bro. I want revenge.
Ooh,
I want Norwich City, bro. I want revenge against those lot. That's who I want, bro. Norwich City or Arsenal. I don't even care, bro. I don't care about big team. If you're in the cup competition, you got to be ready to face whoever. I don't care who it is. Norwich or an Arsenal, though. That would be good. I would love knocking those 2 scums out.
Matt, you have a Crawley fan. You've actually a Crawley fan in the chat here. So if we do get Crawley, you may get him on.
Where is he?
Yeah. He said it's his local team. What's his name?
Oh, Alexander.
Yeah.
Crawley says my local team. Well, look, if we can get Crawley, that should be an easy victory as well. Anyway, look, we're going to do what we did last week. Let's talk Tottenham. Anthony is streaming right now. So I'm going to pop the link for his live stream in the chat, and we'll go over and check out his stream. He's on with Dakota Booth from the Hotspur team right now. So thank you to everyone who has joined. Before you head over to that link, subscribe to the channel down below. Links to David and Charlie's channels will be in the description as well. Thanks, David and Marcelo, for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'm spamming that link for Anthony's stream in the live chat. So please, everyone, go over and tell him Matt Hay sent you. And we can see if we can get him a little spike in his views again. David, Marcelo, have you any final words?
Nah, let's just hope we sign a player and come on, you Spurs. Let's show ambition and let's win trophies. Come on,
David.
Yeah, look, make sure you get over to Let's Talk Tottenham, like Matty says. Show everyone that has a Spurs channel a bit of love. Show them your appreciation, and as well, look, this has been a great fiery debate. I've absolutely loved it. Thanks for having me, Matt. And as well, look, make sure if you like what I've had to say today, get over to the Irish Yid and subscribe, because there's plenty more of what I say coming out on them videos in depth as well. So make sure you get over and subscribe. And again, make sure you subscribe to Matty Hayes and become a channel member. Thanks for having me on, lad.
Thanks a million, David. Again, lads, hit that link in the live chat. We got over 250 people here right now. Let's see if we can get 50 people over to Anthony's stream. And look, just before we go, we do have a new channel member, FDogAM. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Absolutely massive from you. Keep an eye out for live watch-alongs. We'll be bringing members on before the game. So thanks everyone who's joined. Thanks David, Marcelo, and please head over to Anthony's stream. They're linked in the live chat and tell.
Sorry, mate. Before we go, are we doing a live watch-along on Wednesday?
Yeah, we are live watch-along for Fulham on Wednesday, and we'll also be doing a live watch-along for Sheffield United on Sunday as well. So make sure to check out those ones. Again, members, we'll be getting you on before the stream. And look, we leave it there. David, Marcelo, thank you so much. And to everyone who has watched as well, thank you so much for joining us.
Come on.